Okay.
Hey,
We're live. I'm double checking because I feel like I'm just always going to forget everything.
there's Franklin.
It's on. There's Franklin.
About
What
to
is he
kill a bird or
doing?
something.
That's the outside
Oh,
cat. He
oh,
looks like he's going to try to jump in the
he's
tree.
gonna get it. He's gonna get it.
Okay, we got to stop ADD, and we're live right now. We're talking about cats.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey.
We are doing the monthly meltdown for last month, July.
Yes.
July 2025. Is that what year it is?
That is what year it is.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have no sense of time. So I guess we're starting off with I fractured my foot.
Well, you have no idea how.
Yeah.
And
So
can I just say, this is probably like the first big event in our lives that we've not proactively blamed on something supernatural.
I mean, we can maybe
I don't
because
think there's a way
it
to do
happened
that.
when we were on the trip in June, our like 2-week long, this year's para road trip, and it was like the second to last day of the trip or something. And when Wayne and Eric were over here the other day, I even asked, I was like, did I even like mention anything about it? And they're like, no, we had no idea.
Yeah.
I think I only told you. Or did I tell you?
Yeah, we're going to change the story to the motel we stayed at that was awfully negative haunted.
City one.
It ended in like this wild battle between us and the shadow figure we saw. As we're running out of the motel, you trip. Down you go, you like rolled your ankle. Me, being the brave person I am, I look back, I go, no, and I go back, I grab you.
Straight out of the demon's grasp, and that's exactly how my foot got fractured, because the demon was holding on so tight.
Pull you out of the motel when we get out of there. I didn't fracture my ankle because,
Yeah. So that's the story, I guess. Yeah. No, I have no idea what happened. I just like woke up and my left foot was like very sharp, very intense pain. I was like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
But I just figured it would like go away. And then we got back, and I mean, the pain like lessened, like it got down to a dull ache.
You got used to it.
But it was constant. Yeah. And it was like, a week went by, and then 2 weeks went by, and then 3 weeks went by. And when I say constant, I mean like constant. Like even when I was like sitting or laying down, like my foot still freaking hurt. So I was like, all right, well, this probably isn't normal. So I went and they like x-rayed it, whatever. And, the doctor comes in and she's like, is there like, you didn't do anything to it, or you don't remember anything happening? And I'm like, well, to be fair, I'm ADD and I'm a ding dong, and I run into things all the time.
The doctor's like writing down ding dong.
Yeah, and I like have random bruises everywhere, and also have a very high pain tolerance. So is it possible something happened and I have zero recollection? Yes, it definitely is. And so she looks at the x-ray. She's like, yeah, you fractured your foot. And she shows it to me. And it's the freaking bone that's on the bottom of my foot. Okay. So
is it like just...
It's literally a line through the middle of the bone, like straight through the middle of the bone.
That is wild.
Yes. And she was like, oh, there's Franklin. Hi. Yeah. And she was like, yeah, this is an injury you would definitely remember it happening. So that's odd.
It is pretty odd, but you got that, and that is weird. And again, it is the first thing that we've not been like,
now I have
blaming on
I
some
have
kind
a
of
bionic boot. However, I think
you look like RoboCop.
Can you make the noises earlier that you were saying every time you walk? You should have this sound effect.
Move your leg up.
Oh my God, you're an idiot.
Man.
Okay, but I think this should be last thing on this. I think this is an opportunity for a very important lesson in manifestation, because my family was here. They came to visit, and we were talking about Disney because we're going for our birthdays for Mickey's not very scary Halloween.
But the whole park's gonna know it's our birthdays, though.
Yes. But we were joking, and I was like, maybe I should just put my foot in a boot and you guys can push me around in a wheelchair. Then we won't have to wait in the 5-hour lines, ha 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 ha. Well, joke's on me, because might happen.
That is funny to think about, because when you put things like that in with what myself and others have seen you do to grocery store self-checkout lines,
Oh shoot, I didn't even think about that.
And what you do to allegedly, what you do to buildings in small Texas towns that we are speaking at for paranormal conventions.
Okay, well now you have
in West Texas.
Well, now you have to elaborate at least on the checkout lines so people know.
Well, it's kind of wild. So I will never forget this as long as I live. So I can't remember when this was, but we're at the grocery store. I was about to say grocery store shopping, but we were at the grocery store, and whatever, we were walking up, and I said, "Let's just go to the self checkout line," mm-hmm. And you're just like, "Can we not do that, please?" Why? Well, because they always break. I'm like, well, I've never had one break in my life. Like, look at the line in this place. We're going to self checkout.
I hate this. Okay,
so we get to self checkout. And what happens? It like machine breaks. I look around. Everybody at the self checkout's all of a sudden now like beep 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 needs assistance. Everything broke. And I looked at you so sternly, because it was like a fire starter Drew Barrymore moment, in a sense.
And then it happened again when we were in Memphis.
Correct.
So Eric witnessed it.
So we're in Memphis. Fast forward. We're in Memphis. We're at I don't know what the grocery stores are in Memphis.
I don't know. I don't remember.
But we're in there picking up some supplies. I happen to tell Eric about that story, and we decided, let's go through self checkout, and it did it. It did it again.
And I'm standing there shaking my head, saying,
Yeah.
It broke again.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I've seen it happen once again. But yeah, that's
an important lesson in manifestation, and be careful what you wish for. So that's first on our list. We did make what you're flinging around over here.
First on the notice.
Everywhere.
So ...
I fractured my foot. Yes. Next up is antique shop finds. So when my family was here, David loves, my mom's husband, he loves antique shops, and he collects old like gas pumps, porcelain signs, whatever. And last time,
old gas pumps.
Yes. And last time they were here, we went out to an antique shop, I think in Wimberley, and we happened to start talking to the lady who owns it and told her about, his interest. And she was like, "Oh, have I got the place for you? You guys got to go check this place out. This guy collects all that stuff too, but be warned, like he knows what he has, insinuating it's going to be like very, very expensive." So we were waiting. They come in for this trip, and we're like, okay, well, we have to take him to this shop now, and we both went in there fully expecting like the prices were going to be insane, that we were not going to get anything.
But right from the jump though, when we pulled in, before we even got out of the car, you could see this place, and you knew in your head, you're like, oh no, he's going to have a lot of good stuff.
This is going to be very bad, but very good.
Yeah. But then when you walk in the entrance and you just start to notice a few different pieces, you start looking at prices. Mm-hmm. They're wonderful.
Yeah. And I mean, we walked in the main door because there's like a few different areas of it, but we finally go in the main door, and I know you beelined over for the owner to ask about radios, and I beeline over. I see this case full of old apothecary things and, jars and whatnot, which is where I found
poison.
Little poison vial. I'm showing it to two screens because I'm also streaming on Instagram on my phone. Little poison vial, and I was very pleased about this and very excited.
Cool, actually.
Very excited.
And it's all still in there is the thing.
Yeah, it's literally all in here.
I wish it had the date on
So we now have it was Nicole in the kitchen with the poison vial.
Well, I don't know if this poison would still be working. It's like early 1900s, 1800s maybe.
Yeah, who knows?
Prepared by Eastman and Kodak Co. We'll have to look into that, but that's it. Yeah, Eastman intensifier poison. It's got the directions right there.
Listen, I just if it's a little vial with stuff in it that says poison, that's cool, and I want it. Okay.
Or if it's a mini
was Damien's pick.
Rectal suppositories.
Yes.
I don't know. They're just old. I mean, I don't know when this would have been. This would have been.
And they are in here
they're
too.
in here. They're still
That's
in
the
here.
cool thing. They're still in there.
These are probably early 1900s as well. Maybe eight. I don't open it.
Don't try to open it.
Maybe late 1800s. But yeah, rectal suppositories.
We got that. We got a couple bottles of pills. So, coming soon to the museum, we'll have a
those pills, as old as they are, have not one owner has done that, and they get to your hands, and there they are. What I like about these is they're all
really cool.
Is not only are they really cool, just old medicinal pieces, but
still in here.
I'm a sucker for glass bottles, and in the glass bottle world,
specifically,
what you're looking for is it's going to have the raised lettering. Right. So if you're ever looking at like old glass bottles and you find ones that don't have that, chances are it's a repop. So it's always cool to see those, especially when they still have the medicine of old still in them. They're going to go nicely with. We also have a bunch of early 1900s doctor written out prescriptions. Papers.
Oh yeah, the prescriptions. We have a bunch of X-rays.
We got the murder bottles.
The murder bottles, which tell everybody what the murder bottles are, in case anybody's like, "Oh, what?"
Well, it's a cool little piece of history. Cool. It's an interesting piece of history, for sure. They were old baby bottles, these glass baby bottles, and because of the design, a lot of babies ended up dying because of bacteria because you couldn't clean them very properly. So they're called murder bottles.
Hence they became called murder bottles.
We have a number of them. And we are one of the rare people that has one with the straw apparatus still in it. The
original straw, yeah. So that's what we got there, but also the coolest find and the one that I am the most excited about. Let me.
Oh, this is wild.
Bring this bad boy on over here, okay? You guys get the unboxing. So it is this old.
Well, it's been unboxed several times over the years.
Yes, so it is this old box, which I would just like to note.
I love the box.
The box itself, these boxes, like on its own, actually are very valuable and sought after because there are no like nails or anything used in the construction of this box. It's a specific technique where the wood like fits together perfectly and it just stays. So there are no like nails or anything for the construction of this box. But anywho, you open it up. And wow, let me take this thing out. So I will show you this first. So it still came with the little instruction manual, 100% a blood stain. Okay, 100%.
Yeah, especially with the nature of what this is.
Yes, because this is a blood sugar outfit. And it has all of the original instructions and everything. But then when you look in here, it has the old tube and where the needle would have gone in the back here we have the test tubes still are in here. This is a little thing with the like blotting papers in it. The papers are still in there. It has all of these little like testing vials.
Yeah, look at that, still in there, huh?
The liquid is still in all of these.
That's wild.
These bottles, they all still have the original labels on. These are all like empty though. They also say poison, so
this was a really cool find. I actually looked at these and I couldn't find many that came in a complete set.
Yeah, I searched the interwebs and I found 2 only on the internet that had been auctioned off as a full set like this. It didn't show me like pricing or anything because it just said sale is over, but yes, I found 2 on the entirety of the internet.
Very cool. This is in very good condition, man. This is really good.
Yes. So these are the recent finds, things that we found at that little antique shop. So stay tuned for the upcoming, expanded museum medical section. But we also found something else exciting there.
We did. Well, it was an old tube radio, and anyone that knows us knows we have a lot of radios in the house. We love radios.
Yes.
I love radios, not only just working in the paranormal sort of realm, but just in general. But I've kind of always been looking for a tube radio. They're always wildly expensive, and usually they're not working.
Yeah, and this is something because the old tube radios, they're like really hard to find, I imagine, because the tubes are so delicate, they probably are usually broken. And like I've even gone to estate sales before looking for them specifically. Like I will lurk the pictures and look at the radios and look them up to see if they're old tube radios. Like I've gone to an estate sale before where they had one that was like, this big, an old tube radio that was not working. And they were still selling it for $400. I was like, excuse me? So you want to tell the story of, finding this little bro?
It was wild. I mean, when I walked in there, first off, this shop was, it was something else. I mean, we go to a lot of antique shops on the road and everything that we do.
And y'all have heard me rave about the one in Kansas City that I love.
This is wild.
Yeah.
So we go in there and just kind of geeking out over everything. And I look over and I see it. Big old German.
And there she was.
Big old just German tube radio. And I started talking to the guy about it. So I'm talking to the owner, which that's interesting enough. One of the things I liked about this place was, as big as it was, it's kind of wild. There's not a bunch of dealers there. It's all one guy and his wife's collection. Mm-hmm. So I'm talking to him about the radio, and I was like, well, does it work? He's like, yeah. Can I plug it in? Yeah, we plug it in, let it warm up. You hear that hum, and then boom, there's the static that comes on. Oh man, start turning the knobs and turning the channels, and I'm getting stations coming in, getting that white noise. Everything's working. Wow. And I was looking at this piece, and I just knew it was going to be this extravagant price, and it was not at all. And it was to the point where I told the guy, like, hey man, like I'm kind of in this world with you. We collect oddities, and you kind of do that with haunted items as well. And I was like, this is a great price. And he's like, man, I'm not in this to get rich. I should in it for the hobby. I've been doing this forever. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, this has been my life. I'm like, all right, man. Like, this guy is awesome.
Yeah.
His collection's amazing, and he knows what he has.
Yes. And he was talking about, at one point, he actually used to collect the radios himself too. And he was talking about how he had like over 100 of these. We're like, oh, what? You literally, before we started the live stream, you're already trying to coerce me to get back there because there was another like small one that you want. A what radio? A transistor?
It's just an old transistor, but it's small, it's mobile, and we just love old stuff. I love old radios. The one thing we
love a radio, and also cassette tapes, tape players. Yeah. So PSA, if anybody finds cassette tapes, please send them to us.
Or if you have old cassette player recorders that you don't want anymore, send them our way. Like,
yes,
that's another that we have so many cassette recorder decks here.
Yeah.
And since we like the old ones, some of them are so big. But
that's what we use in our investigations primarily.
And oftentimes they're just broken up because they tape players are like radios. It's hard to get ones that are working.
So there's your PSA for the evening. Anything else about finding the radio, bro?
No. But we did get to use it here recently.
We did. So yes, that is a good segue into our good brethren Shaggy.
Yep.
Shag Nasty,
yep.
Shagasaurus Sex from Paraholics.
Yes. From Paraholics, he'd come to visit, and we were just hanging out, got into some high strangeness, investigating the Para House. Had some folks stop by, and we have the radio down here. It's big. It's right next to the turntable. And we had it going, and we had a really interesting session with it. Mm-hmm. You had ended up getting some items from your grandma?
Yeah, so we were doing a session, and, you were scrolling through for a while, and then you had me sit down, and, you're like, okay, just scroll through the station. So I'm doing that. And then, any of y'all who have been on our investigation streams, that eventually, like, you'll hear the radio, it'll start doing these little like pops, and then it'll start sounding like there's voices like within the static, and typically it's really difficult to make out. But then you had mentioned something, I don't remember 100% how this came about, but I know you had mentioned something earlier, because I think it was earlier that day or the day before or something, I got you this cool bird oracle deck recently because you've been on a big bird kick. You're big bird guy now, big bird guy. So got you this deck, and I pulled a card. First card I pulled from the deck. First time I've used the deck, and I got a cardinal.
Oh yeah,
which those of you who know the story, like I associate cardinals with my grandma. My entire family always has. It's just been something like a cool synchronicity that, I see cardinals out all the time. Then I pulled the cardinal card and you said, well, maybe your grandma's trying to communicate. Yeah. Maybe this is a sign she's trying to communicate. And so we're sitting there and I think I said something like that. I was like, well, I was asking is there a technician who can assist? Mm-hmm. And then we started hearing like it sounded like a voice was trying to come through. And then I was like, fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna see, like, is this my grandma? And so I asked, and we got a direct voice response. It came through and it said twice, it said, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. And we heard it, Shaggy heard it.
Well, everyone here heard it. I think it was really cool too, because one, I hope that he did get that. He brought over not even all his gear, but he brought over a treasure trove of toys, which there's one, by the way, I want to talk about, and we'll get there.
Yeah.
But it was a direct voice response through the radio, which I don't know that we're getting them for a while back in the ITC era last year. So it was cool to see that come through. It's been a long time. We all heard it. It's probably not going to end up on the recording. I
hope it does. I mean, Shaggy had, I think, video and audio going for recording. So we'll see. I'm sure if he caught it, he'll post it.
Because there is another time it happened. There was like a growl through that thing.
Yeah.
So
the growl.
Correct. Man, we got to get some Phantom Cats too. I want to talk about that. Just the whole.
Oh yeah, the cats.
It was a wild
time.
Talk
about the cats. Because that also happened when we were investigating. This is all investigating this house. Okay. Yes, we have a haunted museum. We live in a haunted house. Okay. It's just our lives are haunted. We are haunted. I'm so sorry. You are watching the stream. You might be haunted now. But for real, if you hear a whistle, like, let us know.
The cat. It was kind of wild. We kept hearing the cat meow, and in my mind, I knew it didn't sound like either of the girls.
Yeah, it didn't.
It just
really.
Didn't. And it's like the sound of your cat. You just do. But I was like, whatever. So I'm trying to find them. Like, where are they? They locked in a room because Millicent likes to get locked in the pantries,
aka bad cat.
Yeah, likes to get locked in like the pantries and all sort of stuff. Checked everywhere, nothing, and we'd always find them not locked in anything, so no reason. And the meowing we would hear occasionally was in the house, but sort of distant. I don't know how to explain that. Not ethereal, but
it was so it just the distance of where we were hearing it would not line up with where the cats were. So like one time it happened, I think you were upstairs grabbing something, and Shaggy and I were standing over here, and we heard the meow, and like it sounded like it was coming from like the end of the kitchen or something, like fairly close. And I look and, Millie's behind us, wasn't her. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it was Cricket. And so I go try to find her. And she's literally in the guest room, under the bed, all the way to the back of the bed. So like not the distance where we heard this meow from. So Shaggy and I are like, well, that was weird. But like,
she's only vocal.
I don't know.
She's only vocal like that when she's coming out to get supper.
Yeah, or like to play with Millie.
Right.
Which is never when people are
never
here.
When people are here.
So that was that time, but then it happened to you and Shaggy too, where you can tell it, they just weren't there.
Right. Y'all were outside because we had taken it outside to do some sky brubbing and some CE5. Yeah. And I had run upstairs to grab something. Shaggy was downstairs getting something. Come downstairs. We're both in that living room area right there. And we hear that very distinct cat sound come from like where the altar is. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I immediately look right there, and both the girls are standing right there. So
yeah,
it wasn't them. And both him and I are like, whoa, like that. Cause that was the first time that happened where we both could know we saw very clearly that it was something weird.
Yes.
And the only reason that's weird to me is because a couple of nights prior, we'd had some people over and got the Ouija board out.
Yeah.
Things like that. And
we had Aiden from the Susto podcast.
Yeah, well, what's interesting is I don't know how it got there, but at some point they said that my old cat had come through.
Yeah, they were getting something from one of their animals that had passed, and then we were getting a couple things from your cat who had passed.
Yes.
Which is weird, and I will say we've done a lot of Ouija board sessions. That has never happened before, at least not to me.
Never. And the people, to be honest, that were using it don't know about a cat, really.
Yeah.
And right behind them where they're using the board is the cat and her ashes, her nails, her altar, her painting. But I seen this shadow thing up and down the stairs.
Yeah, and we see that all the time. And then there was also, it was the night that, I think the night that Shaggy was here when we were all over, at one point, like, it literally looked like a cat, like, walked past me, and I, like, looked and double took because I thought it was Millie, but there was not a cat.
Right. So when me and Shaggy saw that, we were like, okay, that is officially a 100%.
We definitely have a ghost cat. We have a ghost cat.
Well, it just reminded me, I know it sounds so stupid, but it reminded me of the time that you and I went to Hill House. One of the many times we went, and sitting on that couch, and there's that cat meow right there next to us.
Yeah, while watching a Disney movie.
Well, what Frog and the Pea, or
the
Pea
Princess and the Frog. This is,
Pea and the Pope.
So everybody can identify our different investigation styles.
This is a good technique.
We can tell, which ones are Nicole's, because usually it's like, oh, we're gonna act like we live here, and we're gonna sit on the couch and watch a Disney movie, or we're gonna sit on the couch and paint our nails, and just
that has happened.
See what happens. So
hooves. You were painting hooves.
Yes. That literally did happen. By the way, I asked Toby if he wanted to come paint his hooves with me. He did not. Alas, I had a very pretty pink color picked out. I'm still very offended. Toby, if you can hear me, that was very rude of you. But anyway. So yes, there's the differences in our investigation techniques. What else weird happened? Oh, talk about the gadgets that Shaggy brought, because he's a gadget guy. He has a lot of different.
Well, he's got them all, right? Like it's
a
cool.
lot of different fun toys.
When Shaggy comes over, what it is, it's like if you grew up in the 80s or early 90s in the sort of the era of awesome toys.
The era of awesome toys.
Yeah.
Okay?
So when Shaggy comes over, it's like you got to go to that friend's house that got every new toy that dropped out. You know what I'm saying? So he had the G.I. Joe Command Center, right? Yeah. He had the Nintendo, entertainment system with all the games and all that stuff. So, he wanted to go over there. And so he came over. He brought all the stuff. He had some cool things. I mean, there was one thing he had that I've been looking at for a long time. That I found interesting, which is the static electricity detector piece. I like that. I like that idea. I like that idea a lot, actually. But he brought some of the stuff that everyone knows about that you can get readily commercially. One of them is called the Dead Bell or Dead Ringer or something like that. But you can get it at Ghost Stop. And I've always just kind of look. When I first saw it, I'm like every one of you out there. Yes, when it came out, I got the email from Ghost Stop. I clicked the link, and I literally was about to just hit buy because I was like, "What? It's a literal like desk bell that goes off." Like done, take it. So, but I didn't.
Pretty freaking sweet.
But I never did it, and because it is just another EMF detector, but put in a cool toy box. Basically.
Yeah. Well, listen, we have a podcast. The audio, like the little building.
I don't know.
I'm into it.
I don't know what it is. I think one, I like it better than something like the REM pod, if I'm being honest, because it's not going to go off when we just walk by it. Because
typical REM pods don't. The commercial ones don't. The one that we have does. It was built by somebody else.
But it it also doesn't make that horrible like beep 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 beep. It's just a ding. But here's what's cool. I mean, it was our first time out with it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a cool piece to this story regarding the cat as well. So Eric, I guess, had placed it on the stairs, on one of the stairs, in a spot on the stairs where the cat always used to be. And we were down here just doing our thing, and it was responding to us in incredibly intelligent ways.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about it, and I said, okay, is this thing just being random? Because I'm sure it's going to go off just random. I know how these gadgets work. But even if it were just going off at random, it got to a point where I said in my head, okay, we would have to be so lucky for it to randomly give us this every time.
Yeah.
So then even after the whole session was done, we had him put it back out on the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, let's just see. I want to see how it barely went off.
And but it still did, because it dinged, I think, 2 times.
Right.
And it still was in very pertinent places
Yeah.
of the conversation.
Yeah.
That would have been directly relevant. You know? So I'm very interested by it. I thought it was great. I mean, multiple of us walked up and down the stairs, didn't go off at all.
No.
So I didn't notice any like false positives or things coming from it.
It was the way it would respond to specific questions and the specific times it would. You know what I mean? It was really on the nose.
Yes.
So, okay. So that's our review of Dead Bell. 10 out of 10 from us for right now.
Yeah.
Our first time out.
It was really cool.
You know, because you know us,
I kind of want one.
we use some weird different stuff, and we very often, or very we rarely use some of the
typical
the sort of the name brand stuff out there. So I will say this, it's funny when you guys get to see us use those, because we are still just like every other ghost hunter type person out there. We're kids, so we see the lights and we go, oh, and we play with them, and we had a great time with that Dead Bell.
Yeah.
But it was very responsive. I'd love to use it again. And of course, he had his Ovilus here.
Yeah, he had his Ovilus.
I'm not a huge Ovilus fan. It gave us some interesting stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Had the millimeter, had all the stuff, but man, that bell.
Yeah, the bell. The other one that I really liked was he had one of those music box ones where, you know, it's like checking a field or whatever, like a specified field wherever you point it at, and then it will go off, but it sounds like a music box when it's going off. So
amount of times the cat made it go off.
Yeah, the fucking cat kept.
You know what they call that?
Off, but
that's a false positive.
Yeah, somebody on Instagram said the music box motion detector is also a favorite. Yeah, I really liked that one too.
It was fun. It was
cool. And the thing that I thought that was interesting is obviously this is Shaggy's equipment. Like, we don't own it, we don't use it, but like, you know, the equipment that you use, you're used to, you're familiar with, you know how it works, you know how it typically performs. And he said that the music box specifically is the one piece of equipment that like never goes off. He said that they will go through entire investigations and it literally will not go off.
Well,
and he sets it up, and I think it was within like 5 or 10 minutes of it being there, and it was pointed in the hallway to the laundry room, which we know stuff happens over there. We've literally sat at this table and watched the light going on and off.
Yeah.
But anyway, you know, it went off, and he's standing there like, what the hell? This never goes off.
Well, it was funny because he did say this, you know, he's here and it was real late in the night. We were still going. We were still, I guess, call it investigating, which is such a different experience being over here with us investigating, because it's just like we're at home, you know, all the lights are on, we're just hanging out, eating snacks and just like doing things, and things will pop off. And Shaggy's like, you know, I've been doing this for like 20-some years and this doesn't happen. We're like, what do you mean? He's like, everything's just responding intelligently and like it's all going off.
Yeah, he was like, this is more activity than we get an entire overnight investigation at most locations.
And Nicole and I are just laughing and
like, well,
he's like, you guys mean to tell me this is like what happens all the time? And Eric was here still, I think, and he starts laughing too. And he was like, dude, like anyone that comes and visits us, like they see it, we live it, we're in it.
Yeah.
Welcome
to the Para House, baby.
So that was fun. We always love having Shaggy and hosting him here. So
yeah. So yeah, you can go follow him on things too. His team name is Paraholics.
Paraholics.
HOLIX, I believe. But he puts out tons of great content.
And he works really hard on that content.
Yeah, if you like investigation content, because he's always like filming everything.
And he's a good friend of ours, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the update on Shaggy coming to visit.
Yep.
So next up is book club. So we are starting in our Patreon. People have been asking, and also just like for me, I need accountability, and this is something that I've been wanting to like get into and practice more of, just selfishly. So we are reading Third Eye Spies on remote viewing, like learning how to remote view. Do you want to talk about this a little bit, because this was like the book that you had recommended?
Yeah, it's a great book. Third Eye Spies, learn remote viewing from the masters, right? It's basically the CIA sponsored ESP research program at Stanford. It's that whole story. It's the CIA's look into remote viewing and the practices that they would use and the results that they would get. It's just a cool story. I mean, anyone that is into any of this stuff knows about the Duke University stuff or like the gateway process stuff. That's all here. I mean, the experiments, some cool pictures too of these people. The experiments that were done by the CIA in the military regarding remote viewing and ESP are pretty wide, and then they're wild, and you can go easily find the old CIA documents that have been the ones that have been declassified at any rate. Well, you can also, a lot of these guys that did remote viewing and taught remote viewing for the military, they're out there and they're teaching this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so like
you can learn it.
I don't know about you, but like that's who I want to learn from. You know.
Well, and this is a great way to start, okay? Because it's you're learning about the program and the processes and what they were doing and the whys. It says here, highly recommended for everyone who wants to develop their intuitive gifts. Judith Orloff, MD. That's the psychiatrist, New York Times bestselling author. I don't know, but it really is, because from something like this, if you decide to really dive into it, you can actually join up with the Monroe Institute and take the entire gateway process program.
Yeah, and they have an app too that has all the like soundtracks and everything.
Yeah, you can do it. I know that Commander Dane, I believe it was, gives classes on this stuff, and he taught it for the Army. So it's out there, but this is a good start.
So yeah, we are. This is where we are starting, and we're gonna read through it together. So if you are interested in going through that with us, we're gonna do a chapter a week and then have a like group call just to chat about thoughts, what you experienced, like if there's any exercises that they gave in it, like what your experience was when you did the exercise, or even if you like, you know, because life happens, if you didn't read it, you can just like come hang out and listen and like learn from the conversation, you know. But yeah, so we'll be doing that, and it is for everyone in our Patreon. Even if you join as a free member, you can come hang out with us. So if anybody wants to learn how to remote view with me,
read with us.
Yeah, it's going to be Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central Time. So come hang out with us and learn how to remote view.
Do it.
Next update is Etsy shop is coming at ya. I think it was on the last Parapeculiar podcast episode we talked about this.
I think so.
About you doing like readings and stuff, because you do a really unique, cool style of readings where you combine multiple things. So you do geomancy, but you also pull tarot cards and you do some numerology in it. So I have created the Etsy shop. There's just all the whatever mumbo jumbo of like, we have to verify your tax information and blah, blah, blah. So whatever, it's giving me issues and it's making me want to punch a hole through the computer screen. But anyway, I'm working on it. We like took pictures for the listings and such, so that will be going up there.
Well, what I'm excited about with that is it started by like, okay, we're going to offer readings on this Etsy thing or whatever, because people had reached out and people like some of the readings and had come in and gotten some from me in person before and they liked them, but we've now, I think you're going to be able to get maybe like your candles there.
Yeah, so you.
Yep.
you've been telling me to do this for a long time, and I've been avoiding it because like shipping and whatever.
We're looking at them right there.
But yeah, those of you, I have like, I make all of my own ritual items, okay? Like all of my own witchy tools. Like I make my own like fixed candles and like ritual oils.
There's Florida water brewing right over there.
Yeah, I'm making homemade Florida water, homemade bath salts, which is like OG.
There's sage drying in the microwave.
Yeah, so I am going to slowly be putting all of those things up on the Etsy shop as well. We've also toyed with the idea of selling like PDFs of all of my like spells and stuff and different like rituals, because apparently that's a thing that people really like on Etsy. I don't know if there's things that you want us to put up on there, let us know. But yes, Damien will be offering readings through there. So yeah, stay tuned on that. That will be coming soon.
Oh yeah, you wanted to end this on a different topic.
Yeah, and so to end this, which is maybe this is a bad timing because we only have like 15 minutes now. We'll see if we do more. If we talk more, we talk more. But let's talk about Annabelle and the Warrens' house and museum selling to Matt Rife, and a guy who has what's his name? Hold on. Elton Casti, who I don't know if it will let me play it, but we were just watching a video about him talking about capturing a ghost cuck. Yeah. So
they're looking at the SLS camera.
They now have
and they saw a stick figure cuck sitting in the chair watching two other stick figures bang.
Brothel, yeah.
I'm not an SLS camera person at all, but that would make it worth the price of admission for me to see that.
Yeah. So they own the Warrens Museum now.
Well, they're going to open it up, aren't they?
Yes, I will say I am happy about that, though. They are going to be opening it up to the public for tours and investigations, which I personally think is great.
It's going to be like a years-long wait list.
Yeah, probably.
Like right off the jump.
Who do we email now to like get on the waiting list or something? Like VIP, But anyway, so I don't know. I didn't even know it was like for sale. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm almost wondering if, because Matt Rife's a very famous comedian. I know you weren't like familiar with him, but I just presume he has a lot of money to throw around with things. And I know celebrities like to do stuff like that. Like, I don't know if you heard about like, what was it? Magic cards. They came out with like Lord of the Rings cards, and there was only one card in all of the packs. That was the ring, the one ring. And Post Malone was like, whoever finds this card, like I will buy it from you for $1 million, So I'm wondering if, he just like went to them and was like, I'll give you $5 million or whatever to like buy it from you. And they were like, all right.
Who knows? Maybe. I mean, he got himself quite an injection of press coverage, though, with everything that happened, and getting that now because it just like really stirred up interest in the whole thing. And then the movie comes out this year, the final Conjuring film.
Yeah, which let's talk about.
So he sat there for a minute.
Which let's talk about that too. The whole, prior to that, the whole thing with Dan Rivera sadly passing away during their, tour of Annabelle, but then all of the media coverage of people being like, hey, Annabelle killed someone, So what, pray tell, Damien, are your personal thoughts on that situation?
Well, we did cover a lot of the thoughts prior to that happening on Very Peculiar episode, because we did.
Well, not the him dying.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying. Prior to that happening, because we had done the tour that Annabelle was on. Mm-hmm. We spoke at one of the stops.
Yeah, we were speaking at the event in San Antonio.
We spoke at the event. Met Dan and everything else, and in fact, the picture of us with Annabelle was taken by Dan.
Yeah, Dan took.
And we've given our thoughts on Annabelle and the Warrens and everything else on the podcast. Now, my thoughts on him, it's wild timing to have a natural out of nowhere death like that. Does it have anything to do with that doll? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I as someone who collects haunted items, I'm gonna tell you right now, can items be haunted? Yeah. In a way, like it's not, and very rarely are they, if we're being honest, right? Very rarely are they.
Haunted in the sense that we also experience the haunting once the item has been given to us.
Correct.
Very rare.
And the ones that are the most, call it negative, will pop off, but they're not kill you. Like there's nothing like that. It doesn't exist. And I mean, look, there are certain items out there that it can be said can cause certain things like that to happen. The Bell Witch rocks.
We have Bell Witch rocks, and we're still here to tell the tale.
But now that is something though that has, over the years, multiple accounts from different people, stories. It has occurrences. Mm-hmm. Annabelle has 0. There is no documented, reported anything ever from that doll. And if they really believe that it was that cursed, I mean, you and I, as collectors, and we take our craziest items on the road. Mm-hmm. If we thought that it had the potential to harm people, we probably wouldn't.
Right, which is exactly why everything got pulled for a while, because the mirror was causing some stuff and making people pass out. We're like, you're going in timeout for a little bit.
Yeah.
But yes, I agree that if they, if you truly, truly believe that like this is such a cursed item that like anybody who comes near it or in contact with it or looks at it the wrong way could potentially like, die.
Not only that,
we wouldn't be doing that. But also I think the bigger rabbit hole to go down here, and this is something we kind of talked about prior, but like, okay, if you are someone that had the belief in that and truly believe like this thing is that cursed and could harm me, I think that would be more likely to cause that to happen. Like,
well,
that
okay.
Belief.
Here's the thing. Okay, but first off, I wanted to say before I lose